Hi, this is Annie with Comp My Cruise, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I think this is take like 25, because I keep getting the giggles and I can't spit the words out. And turns out I have got some really annoying habits when I'm trying to make a video. So anyway, if I do anything stupid, just ignore it. Scroll on. Don't say anything mean. But I think it's important to get this information out there. Me being silly or not, I am very serious about this. And that is comps, how they were, how they are now, and also your theoretical. I will do a brief explanation of what that is. I have spent recently hours on the phone with people infinitely more knowledgeable than myself on the subject of comps and theoretical. So do know the information that I'm putting out there, it is true. It is straight from the horse's mouth. However, it's from their mouth to my ears, through my brain and out my mouth. So if I don't use the same verbiage, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, with a lot of things, so don't hold that against me. But regardless, that this is all true. So we will start with comps. Thanks to COVID, comps exploded in 2020. Casino comps, cruise comps have been around a long time. Certainly longer than we've had the ability to take advantage of comps. And actually, we had just returned home from an Australian cruise that was comped. If you get the opportunity to do it, you really should. I don't care if airfare is expensive or not. It's well worth it. Anyway, I always describe COVID as God taking the world, shaking it up, pouring it out, just to see what would happen. Every part of this world was devastated. The travel industry was particularly hit hard, including in that, of course, cruising. Cruise lines lost billions of dollars in revenue they were not bringing in. Not to mention they had to keep operating. They just don't take the ships and park them at the dock for a year and a half and then, fire them back up. Fire them back up because it's time to get passengers on. But anyway, when there was finally talk of the restart, they threw it all to marketing. They had to get, at the very least, some cash flow going for these cruise lines. So the marketing guys got it, and what better group of people to market to than casino players? And these comps were being offered to pretty much anyone that had ever strolled through the casino and thrown $5 into a slot machine. Or, put $10 on a red or black. Whatever the case, everybody and their brother was getting comp cruise offers. And nice offers, too, not just some dumpy inside cabin kind of offer. Oh, they're not dumpy, but like a suite is better. Anyway, they were good offers. People getting balconies and suites and free play and free drinks and all the super cool perks that go with it were coming to people who normally might just be sailing in an inside cabin and are recreational gamblers who only play a few $100s when they're on a cruise and, when they're on vacation. So they were loving it. People were loving it. People got spoiled. I got spoiled. Spoiled is good. You can get addicted to spoiled. But the marketing guys, they're not dumb. They knew this was just not for that particular time period. They knew that it was going to spill over into later on when things did start to change. Now people are used to a certain type of comp that they want, they feel that they deserve. But I'm going to tell you, regardless, things have changed to the point of this. At this point in time, for most cruise lines, not all of them, it is all about your play. Regardless, it is about your play. And the cruise lines need to know your play before they're going to give you a comped cabin. That's not all. They need to make sure that those costs are covered, or what is the point? So they have been setting aside fewer cabins for casino people. And this is also due in part to the fact people are willing to pay retail price. It's a sure thing. If someone's willing to pay retail for that ocean view cabin, it's paid. It's taken care of. Whether they spend any more money or not, they know the price of that cabin is taken care of, whereas a gambler has to play enough to cover not just the cost of the cabin, but any of the cool perks that come with it, whether you've got drinks, tips, Wi-Fi, whatever the case may be. So along comes, it's all about play. Next thing I'm going to explain to you is theoretical and average daily theoretical, because pretty much at this point, that's what it's all about. Casino players, it is all about your play. Now, granted, there are still some cruise lines that are passing out some passing out nice comps. But many of the cruise lines have changed. Many have changed. Some are completely up in the air. Don't know what the devil they're doing right now. But I know there's some of them that are just completely nothing else, basing it on your play. Which is why I wanted to talk about theoretical, your average daily theoretical. It is important to know this because this tells you what the cruise lines expect from you to become valuable enough to them to give you the comps that you believe you deserve. Then, once you know that, you can analyze your play and decide if it's worth it for you to spend the extra time and the extra money in the casino to get the better comps, or if you can settle for less and still be happy. Absolutely do not promote you spending beyond your means or chasing comps, but that's completely up to you. Once you know the goals that the cruise line has set forth for you to get that suite or that ocean view, the spa cabin, it's up to you whether you want to go for it or not. Do know that theoretical is not about how much you win. It's not about how much you lose. It is about what the casino believes your value to be to them. Okay? So it's a complicated equation. I think I've wrapped my brain around it enough to explain it to others. At least I hope so. That goes like this. And this is for slot players. Calculating your theoretical for slots is your average bet, the amount of time you spend in the casino, the amount of spins per hour, and the, what's it called? The house edge. Take all that, and that's pretty much what determines your theoretical. Let's say that you were on a week-long cruise, and your theoretical for the week was 7,000. Okay? You divide that by the number of days that the casino, you divide that by the number of days you sailed, not the number of days the casino was open, which I don't really think is fair, but, who am I? Who am I to question? But you divide it by that many days, and then you get your average daily theoretical. All right? If you want to examine that a little closer, when I say your average bet, you don't bet the same thing all the time to get an average bet. Like when I play, sometimes it's $1, $1.50, sometimes $5, sometimes $10, and every now and then after a few glasses of wine, I'm boinking on the $25 a spin button, but that creates your average bet. The amount of time you spend in the casino. They take that into consideration. Are you a player or are you just stopping in occasionally? There's a huge difference between, on a 7-night cruise, spending 28 hours in the casino over the course of that cruise as opposed to 5 hours. Spins per hour. Now, this is something, it depends on the game you play. Because if you think about it, some of these new super cool slot machines have all these, really cool bonuses. There's numerous ways to get a bonus, real high volatility machines, but they're really fun to play. Once you get these bonuses, they do slow you down. They got to wait for the drums to bang, 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 bang before the screen gets bigger and all that, as opposed to like a 2-3 line real game. Junk, junk, junk. Hit again. Hit again. You can get a lot more spins in an hour. So if you're trying to figure your theoretical, I would say figure it at about 360 spins per hour. Okay. And the house edge. Just to be on the safe side, we're going to say cruise ship slot machines have a house edge of 15%. Now, I just saw, I was watching something on this the other day. I thought it was pretty interesting. When they say 15%, that means 15% over the lifespan of the machine. Not just 15% per cruise. The machine goes into action, I guess, on January 1, and it is on the casino floor at this location for 5 years. Over the course of that 5 years, it will pay out 85%, but it has kept 15% of what it took in. That is how casinos make their money. Okay. A rule of thumb, for slot players, and this is kind of tough, but if you want to get a good theoretical, like, around 1,000 or more, that's good. That's really good. 4 hours per day, average $10 bet per hand, or 8 hours per day at $5 average bet, which is pretty hard to do unless your cruise consists of all sea days. Table players. You want to get a really good theoretical. Rule of thumb is 4 hours per day, $100 average bet per hand. Now, at the end of your cruise, I do recommend going up to the host and asking for your numbers. And also, something else I wanted to bring up was keeping track of your points. Okay? The slot machines keep track of everything. They know when you sit down. They know when you get up. They know how much you spend, It's harder to get points, therefore getting, more the other type of perks from your status on the cruise line. It's harder to get points when you're a table player because you are at the mercy of the pit. the pit. You are at the mercy of the pit. You're at the mercy of the pit boss, and human error is always a factor, whereas a slot machine, it's not. So if you really want to build up a good Theo and get some points on there, you might want to consider playing, taking part of your playtime and playing slots. Okay, now we got the 7-night cruise, the 7,000 theoretical. Divide that by 7 days, and you get $1,000 per day. Average daily theoretical. Your comps will be 30% of that number or 10% of your losses, whichever is greater. So that's what you can expect. So 7 days, $300 a day. That's basically $2,100 to cover your cabin and all the perks that come with it for the duration of a 7-night cruise. I do know that there's people out there who are still getting great offers, and hey, more power to you. I don't know if, people are getting them, they see them online, they're getting a postcard, an email, whatever the case is, and are still very happy with the offers they're getting. And I say, go for it. Book as many as you can, baby, because those things could change any time. The casino programs with every cruise line is pretty fluid right now. I know when I spoke to Virgin recently, the guy just said to me, we kind of really don't know what we're doing. We're trying to get it put together, but it is not yet. So some of them are kind of floundering. And if they are giving you good offers, hey, get them booked. Just book what you can. And I also think a lot of the cruise lines will allow you to book up to 2 years out. All you're going to be paying is a deposit on some of them. On others, you will be paying simply your tax and port fee, but regardless, that is all due up front. You have usually like a day or two to get that paid. To do also with your host at the end of your cruise on the last day, find them, ask them what your numbers are. Now, these are going to change if you're going to play into the night. But I think it's interesting to know your numbers. Did not know I could do that, but you can. And why is the other reason? Oh, because once you know your numbers, you can analyze your play. You can probably figure out your own ADT. And the other thing, do not forget to take those points you have accumulated and turn them into free play. I took our last cruise. Yeah, on our last cruise, I took my free play and turned it into a $1,900 major hand pay. If you found this information interesting, I do have other videos that will be coming up, including casino tours. Next stop for me is the Celebrity Ascent. I will be there on its first sailing in the U.S. on November 22, so I'll be getting a video ready for that. I'll be on the brand new Utopia's first sailing, some new MSC ships, doing a lot of that, and also information. I'm going to try to put together videos of the casino program for each cruise line. Although, again, they are very fluid, but it's nice to know how they are now, and then down the road they can each be updated. And thank you for your time. See you at the casino.